Ehome's turn to pick.
What's up, guys, and finally welcome back to the second game of the night. We got Wings going up against Ehome, both of whom have just won their previous game, so I'm sure they're both feeling pretty hot. Sorry about that delay though, because Ehome, they were starting the game when we finished, so we just had to wait for them, obviously, but we're here now. And that's what's important. I'm Mike Loris, going to be your caster for this game. And both these two teams are probably the two teams that are going to, at least the most likely ones, to pick up weird things. Ehome have been pretty insistent on picking up the Kunkka for Lanham. I'm not really sure how it keeps on working out, because the supporty roam Kunkka into build damage is not really a standard thing, but it seems like Lanham has it all figured out. So we'll see if they're going to try to run that back again, and opening up with the Faceless Void for the off lane for Old 11 definitely is going to be still Ehome in their comfort zone. Whereas for the wing side, gonna grab an Elder Titan, going to grab a Mirana. As far as the overall strength of these two heroes, I think you could probably find a little bit stronger, at least in this day and age. But wow, Ehome gonna grab a second pick, Storm Spirit. Now this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I want to see from these two teams going at it. Just weird picks and them trying to make it work. And this is picking Storm Spirit above, the likes of a Lifestealer, Beastmaster, like these super strong heroes, Phoenix. Even with this Faceless Void, not gonna go for Phoenix Faceless Void. No, gonna go for Storm Faceless Void, who don't really work amazingly with one another. It's not like they can't work together. They definitely can get the job done, but there's no, let's say, direct synergy between the two of these heroes. For the Wings side, they do have a boatload of damage. They will need to combo up their stuns, however, because Faceless Void and Storm Spirit are incredibly slippery, so they're gonna need some setup. And for the Elder Titan, mostly, I think that's the most important. Just something basic like Eventual Spirit Magic Missile can help you land the Stomp, which can help you land the Arrow, and then everything usually is going to be a little bit cleaner. These teams have not been favoring the Lion quite as much as some other regions, which is definitely interesting. Always going to be a possibility for, at this point, either squad, really. But I want to see what Ehome are actually planning with the Storm Spirit and Faceless Void. Usually you do need a little bit of help for the Storm Spirit in the early stages. Ricky is still in the pool and may just be that hero to give the Storm Spirit that help. If you leave him in the mid lane, then, well, if it's a 2v1 matchup, or, if Wings are going to grab like a Bounty Hunter type hero with their own mid lane hero and really apply the pressure to the Storm Spirit, then Storm is just, not the hero you want to have. If you're somehow able to force Wings into keeping a 1v1 in the mid lane, then the Storm Spirit will have an okay matchup up against most heroes, and you will probably be able to just rely on the mechanical skill alone in order to win that lane if you're Ehome. But again, that is a little bit difficult with the Faceless Void opening. I suppose you could do something like Faceless Void Lich, really try to keep the enemies down in that in their safe lane. But yeah, I'm not sure. It will, of course, probably be 4th, 5th pick Lich if a Lich pick comes out at all. This game will also, I believe, determine who's on top of the group for right now. Still, we have a lot more games to play, but yeah, who knows? Maybe I'm pretty sure both these two teams are at least locked for top 5 at this point. Especially judging by how they've been playing. They've been pretty much consistently stomping their way through the competition. Going to be AA, it's going to be Silencer. Yeah, I mean, that's the read that I would get if I was Wings. Ehome clearly want to do some weird teamfight initiating type thing with the Storm Spirit. Kunkka is the hero that Ehome have been picking up, and it is still in the pool. It is perfectly reasonable up against what Wings have, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them grab that for Old Lanham right now. For the Wing side, though, it's going to be a Dazzle, which is surprisingly defensive. Honestly, they don't really have that much in order to assist the Mirana right now. Echo Stomp is not really incredibly reliable. Dazzle has nothing. I think if they did want a support hero, or a support hero with a defensive kind of component, then the Vengeful Spirit would have been at least slightly better up against the Chronosphere in that regard, because you also get offensive power with that hero. And really, when you have Mirana, you don't really want to sit back and be defensive. That's usually how you lose the game. You want to get control of the game early on, so you can be able to, so you get your items up, just so you can play slower once you have that item. Wow, Wing's gonna go Dazzle Huskar though. Well, that's a good reason to pick up Dazzle as opposed to the Vengeful Spirit, because Ehome, they have shown their 3 cores. Ice, Naga, Siren. The old Chicken Storm Spirit, old 11 Faceless Void. As far as killing off a Huskar, I don't know how Ehome do it. The Ancient Apparition has already been banned out. That's probably the best anti-Huskar support hero that you can possibly grab. It's possible that they tried to do some sort of greedy jungle type hero and try to get through the Huskar that way, like a Legion Commander or a Beastmaster in the jungle. But up against a Mirana, I'm not really sure if that's really going to fly. She could very easily duck into the jungle and try to snipe you out, since usually you're not going to be entirely healthy. A cheesy pick for sure from the Wings gaming side. We'll see if it's cheesy enough. This hero definitely is powerful when partnered with the Dazzle. But if they let this game go on too late, then Ehome with the Naga with a Storm will have just all the mobility in the world up against Wings, who have pretty much no hard disable, and a Huskar who really you don't want to be playing in the 40-50 minute games. So the thing that Wings need right now is, well, an answer to Old Lanham, because he's been trouncing everyone with his Rome Kunkka. But what they need is some way to actually deal damage to these structures. I am assuming it's going to be Mirana mid lane, Huskar in the safe lane. So coming from the off lane, push power isn't really that common. I guess Lone Druid is something that you can go for if you really want to do that. Yeah, but they need some sort of way to take down those towers quickly. Because Huskar can kill off heroes really quickly, but killing off structures, not going to happen really for him. Mirana, almost the same exact thing. So they have the kill power towards heroes. Now they just need to kill power towards structures. Ehome, it seems like with this Kunkka pick, are just going to stick to their guns. They have a nice little combo with the Naga Siren Ensnare, so you're able to net him down and lift him up with a Torrent. And if you're able to land a Torrent once Storm Spirit hits level 6 on the enemy mid laner, with the ball landing in, you would assume you should be able to get kills more often than not, even through a Mirana Leap. Maybe not through a Dazzle as well, that might be a little bit too much of a tall order, but the kills are very there, at least they're possible to be there. Assuming Old Lanham is actually able to land some Torrents, which so far has been landing with startling efficiency, just freehanding them. It is incredibly difficult to do, especially up against the faster heroes in the game, i.e. Mirana with Leap. But if you land it, right? So it's all good. We'll see if Ehome are scared of being pushed as well. I mean, Wings can just go for a lot of initiation as well. Get some way to get a guaranteed start in these fights, like a Bat Rider type hero, which is really not the best for them, but Clockwork as well is pretty reasonable for the Wing side. Just try to get some extra initiation action so that you can convincingly take 4-man wipes, 5-man wipes, then lead that into the tower push. But it seems like Ehome are scared of pressure coming out from the jungle. Pusher of the Chen eliminated. Enchantress still available if Wings were really planning on doing that. Alternatively, a Nature's Prophet passively might be a little bit of an asset. Up against Storm Spirit, Naga Siren, maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit too deep. Wings have played Luna in the past. You can put offlane Mirana, Huskar mid, and Luna. I mean, they know that the mid lane is most likely going to be a Storm Spirit, and that's an abusable lane. Really, Wings can put Huskar or Mirana there and expect to have at least a decent time. So they can maybe play a little bit more greedy in that safe lane. Man, the more I think about it, the better Luna gets. They would love to pick up a Drought Ranger type hero here. Just some huge damage force. For Ehome, their supporting cast needs one more support. Usually going to be that kind of passive hero. Phoenix is looking actually fantastic up against what Wings have. And there you go. I mean, it's the delayed Phoenix Faceless Void combo. Doesn't matter, got combo. And, you get a little bit of extra utility up against the Huskar. When Berserker's Blood is really dangerous, when it's see that like 10 HP, then your Supernova isn't really going to work out that much. But what the hell? I don't even know why this is there, but Sunray is really the big game. Sunray is the pure damage from Ehome, and that is going to be one of their few tools at actually dealing with the Huskar once they get him low. Because getting Huskar low is not really the hard part, it's actually killing him off. That's the hard part, and Sunray can in fact do that. For Wings though, Shaker as their last is incredibly interesting. It's going to be in the hands of Faith BN as well, so in the off lane you would expect this Shaker to go, and it looks like, judging by who's picking up what, Shadow for the Huskar, safe lane, Mirana, played by Blink in mid, it is going to be an Earthshaker in that top lane. Now, Ice, Naga Siren, Phoenix is not an incredibly dangerous duo. But it is probably enough to keep the Earthshaker at arm's length, especially once Lanham rotates in. Usually the Kunkka, though, plays a little bit more so away from the safe lane. That's what I've seen from at least Old Lanham's Kunkka. That's where he usually kind of patrols.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, it really does depend. What the net worth? Okay, well, it turns out we have an even game right now. Yeah, but certainly it's an interesting team comp for both sides. Huskar, a precious hero to keep farming. And it doesn't seem like for Ehome they'll be able to really do anything about that, at least early on. Like, you could torrent him, but Faceless Void's physical right-click damage is high, yes. Not high enough to really contest a Huskar early on, so most likely we'll see Old 11 duck into the jungle, more so in the early stages. But the Shaker is here. He's going to blow the smoke, both sides, in fact, going to have their smokes pop. It's kind of interesting to see both teams smoke up to place no observer wards. Like, there are no observer wards currently on the ground right now. But yeah, this bottom lane is going to be pretty darn hard to crack. I mean, it's a Huskar Dazzle. What can you really expect? But yeah, Ehome, they seem like they'll have lanes that are going to be fairly difficult to crack as well. But most of the attention in this game is going to have to be going towards Old Lanham. He's been doing some serious work on the Kunkka. Again, I'm not really sure how he does it. But the top lane is not something that Wings can really abuse. Mid lane, usually you would like to abuse this lane as much as you can, but with an Elder Titan and a Mirana, it is very difficult to actually land a stomp. And as far as killing off the Storm Spirit, it will probably require a freehand arrow to land, which is difficult to say the least. If it does land, then yeah, maybe you can get the kill, but dive onto the Shaker, that'll show him. But Old Chicken is probably not that bad, and you probably won't get hit by that. So I'd expect this mid lane to be fairly even. I would expect Old 11 to take a ton of Searing Spears on this bottom lane. Just, it's a Huskar matchup. You got to do what you can as Old 11 to try to get this creep wave. He's going to grab the aggro, bring it back most likely to his tower, or at least try to. Ice is not going to look to do the same. So Old 11 should have at least this free creep wave worth of experience. It's not huge, but it's something. Old Lanham in the meantime hit with a stomp, as well as an arrow that's both going to chain stun pretty well. Kunkka still has a torrent. He's going to put it on the ground. Innocence is going to walk right into it. Old Lanham's going to look to commit Sudoku. And it looks like that should work. There we go. Sorry for the lag, guys. Again, sometimes it's going to be lagless. Sometimes we're going to have a ton of it. But, yeah, I'm not going to waste time reconnecting since that never really fixes anything anyway. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Try your own luck in Dota TV where you can hear me there. Or just listen without commentary if that's more your cup of tea. Yeah, but this Faceless Void is just trying to get experience. That's really all you can expect until he's able to pick up that Iron Talon and actually straight up jungle at that point. Fenrir, Phoenix, Ice in the Naga Siren. He's already warmed up on this hero, just won the previous game versus C-Deck Youth by playing this hero. Although I'm not really sure how much it was Ice winning the game as much as it was Old Chicken on the Death Prophet winning that game. But he's 7-2 up against the 5-1 of Mirana. The thing that Storm Spirit does have on top of the Mirana is the fact that, well, first of all, he has Torrents coming in and harassing. But also, he's, gonna get hit with the Stomp. Arrows there as well. This should be a kill. Onto the Storm Spirit. Old Chicken does have a Fairy Fire. He's gonna pop that. Has a salve as well. Is going to fall in the end, however. Now, Innocence. He's going to try to dodge a Torrent, and he will be able to slip out of there. Old Lanham slightly misplacing that. It will be First Blood, as they're able to run in and land a Stomp. Boots first on the Elder Titan will help you do that. And now he's going to grab a regen rune. Wow. Play well, get rewarded. Old Chicken to fall. And this is the extent of the abuse that the Wings can do towards Old Chicken on the Storm Spirit. Again, it's very, very difficult to actually kill off this guy. You need to land a Stomp if you're going to land an arrow. And they landed a Stomp, so they landed an arrow, and he was already pretty unhealthy to begin with. So it is going to work out this one time. We can see Old Lanham is not really able to land at least enough of a significant impact to get a kill on a Mirana or even make her really panicky. The build for the Kunkka is usually in a supporting type role. Max out or get 3 points, 2 points in the X marks the spot, and then just be a torrent machine. Old Lanham doesn't do that. He gets Armlet, he gets Tidebringer maxed out, so I'm not really sure if this is the time to change that, but for right now, Torrent will land onto Faith BN. With Fenrir here, they have LaBalance Sunray. Fissure is out, and the Earthshaker is actually trapped in the creep, so he's gonna die. Giving up a kill to Fenrir and Old Lanham. A kill's a kill. And he's even going to get the stack up. Is this what Old Lanham's been doing? Again, I haven't really been paying entirely close attention to the Kunkka when he's been playing it. But I could understand if he's just like torrenting and then in between the torrents is going into the jungle and just getting a giant stack up. Great for the Storm Spirit for one thing. Naga Siren maybe not as much so, but... it's even just like Kunkka getting experience by pulling that up for later. But yeah, Old Lanham is going to Interesting to see what he's deciding to do right now. Torrent is out. It's going to connect onto the Mirage. She does have a leap. The burst damage not quite high enough. Oh, Tidebringer with the cleave is going to kill her off. Who got the kill? Storm Spirit got the kill somehow. Okay. But I guess that's an argument for Tidebringer, man. 59 damage, plus 20 or something like that. Yeah, it's not incredibly high. But poke out, Torrent, kill, and then you get the pull. It's a pretty sweet way to play Kunkka, I suppose. Now, I mean, I'm entirely on board with support Kunkka, because I do think, like, if you roam her around with, like, a place stunner, then you could very aggressively look for kills really anywhere. I'm not really sure how much I like old Lanham's follow-up build of Armlet. I think he goes phase Armlet, and yeah, I haven't seen it quite enough to really be convinced by it. But up towards top lane, Faith Bien, hit with quite a bit of slow damage, right clicks as well from Fenrir. Shaker is tanky enough to get out of there. Level 3, not impressive by any stretch. He does have to watch himself. This lane is not entirely dangerous, but still enough to kill off a Shaker. He doesn't exactly have a ton of lane control. And old 11, he has picked up his Iron Talon. He's going to abandon the bottom lane. So we're going to see a free farming Huskar. We've seen some incredible Armlet timings in Dota recently, and it doesn't seem like this is going to be any exception. Old Lanham picking a fight with Innocence. 1v1 fight. That was not much of a fight, so he's just going to run away now. Yeah, but old 11 can really only jungle in this game. Faceless Void's jungle speed is not that bad, but letting a Huskar free farm, letting a Dazzle have an absolute free time in his jungle as well is potentially going to be problematic for Ehome. Their ability to apply pressure is limited in Lanham ganking the mid lane and I suppose the top lane. It's really not that high. Like, we've seen better from Earth Spirits and Ricky's and whatnot, who, by the way, was still in the pool by the end of this game, Ricky. So, pretty crazy to see sometimes that... Ooh, arrow? Did that land? No, it didn't land. Yeah, so we'll see what this Kunkka can actually do, but Ehome are really in no rush. I mean, they have a Naga Siren who is free farming up towards top lane. Why would they be in a rush? This may be a little bit dangerous, though. Echo Stomp, I think, landed. There's a fissure here as well. The Sunray's going to keep Ice healthy, though. Now he's going to think about turning around. Fenrir's going to dive right in, and he's going to get punched a couple times, but the Song of the Siren will stop them in their tracks. There is a fissure here, but Fenrir is a little bit too far away to actually get caught. And Ice, he's going to turn off the Song, and yeah, he'll just continue farming the lane. In the meantime, Void dies. Did Void... I don't know what Void did here. I assume he walked into an arrow and then got Starstormed and whatnot. But I don't think a level 4 Void should be ganking the mid lane right now. He should probably just be AFK farming the jungle. Like, literally, set up a couple of waypoints and then just AFK farm. Because what he can do in this game is pretty much zero until he gets Chronosphere. He's actually going to try to farm the mid lane. Old Lanham's farming the bottom lane. There is, however, a life break on the Huskar, so if that lands on Old Lanham, I'm pretty sure he's just dead. Torrent is going to be casted. That is the only way he has to counteract that. Old Chicken, though, is going to get jumped by Bien. I'm not really sure if he lost any creeps to that. I think Earthshaker might have taken like 1 or 2. But Old Lanham's got to be very careful. He does have the laces, so that extra movement speed should keep him safe. The Huskar usually doesn't get boots until after Armlet, and oh, people are dying again. Zelda Titan to the neutrals. 2 kills for the neutrals, man. That's 2-2-2. Not too often you see that. This is a problem brewing, though, for Ehome. Of course, the early phase of the Huskar is incredibly more dangerous than the early phase of the Naga Siren, so they will have an earlier timing, just how their team operates. And that timing should be pretty much as soon as you get the upgraded boots with the Armlet. Then the Huskar should stop farming, then he should look to go kill things. And Ehome may struggle to deal with that, but, you know, passive early start. That's okay, man. It's late. I'm okay taking it easy for right now. Plus, I can't see Jack anyway, so the more action there is, the worse the frame rate gets, guys. You know how it is. Old Chicken, Ball Lightning in, is going to hit with the fissure. Chain Stun with the arrow. Starstorm is going to be dodged, actually. The second star would have gotten the kill, and that was a regen rune he grabbed as well. But now he's... Oh, okay, no, he's fine. No glitches here. The Old Chicken kind of playing it fast and loose to get a regen rune. It's not going to cost him anything, but still, that could have been very bad. In the meantime, bottom lane, Shadow with the Armlet turned on is just going to go to work to the tower. Now, the pushing speed of Huskar, let's just say, is not Terrorblade. It's not Clinks. It's, again, the probably weakest part of Wing's draft. The fact that they have all this kill power, but no tower destruction power. That is going to slow down their overall payoff of actually getting those kills. But Jesus, he's going deep, Blink. He got the Faceless Void with something. That was an arrow, but now here comes Old Chicken looking for the return kill. No mana on the Mirana, and she's going to get dropped by the Storm Spirit. Trading 1-1, a slightly better trade there for the Ehome squad. Now they're looking at the bottom lane. Fenrir does have LaBalanced Sunray, but with the stomp there, he can't actually cast it, and Innocence is going in. Is he going in? No, he should leave. Good idea leaving. Frame rate, please. Perfect world, please cooperate with me. Ehome actually trying valiantly to defend this bottom lane tower. Not really giving up that much power on this top lane. Faithbian is getting the time to farm up a little bit up here. But the Earthshaker isn't exactly what I would call wealthy, and Ice is still well on his way to a pretty much perfect Naga Siren game. Not going to straight rush a relic or anything like that, although it should be his next item. He already got the extra mana, and of course that's going to help him just farm up all the more swiftly. Actually has quite a bit of mana. Arcane Boots, Ring of Basilius, and of course the small amount of mana regeneration from Infused Raindrop. So yeah, it's a decent amount. Spamming out those Riptides with the mirror images does cost quite a bit. He's actually going to upgrade to Ring of Aquila before he actually moves in towards a bigger item. But for right now, he's in a little bit of trouble. He does have a Song of the Siren with mana to cast it, plus that Raindrop. So maybe it's going to be enough to keep him alive. But for right now, he's spotted. Fissure is going to go the other direction, though. Looks like Wings are more interested in stealing the stack. They still land the Stomp. They throw the arrow. I think that lands as well. It does. Naga Siren taking some right clicks with the Chain Stun is going to be good enough to get the kill. Especially with Ice. Just two Ices. Getting in there with the Shadow Wave. That extra physical damage on the Naga Siren, just enough to get it. Now this is the go time point. Is Lanham trapped here? That doesn't look like a tight wall, but it seems like it may just be. Arrow is going to completely whiff regardless, but they do have the Echo Slam for a further chain stun. And it will be Blink to grab the last hit. Mirana is getting way too much for Ehome to feel comfortable. Same thing for the Huskar, really. A couple heroes maybe down in this bottom lane, but he's got the Armlet, he has the Life Seal, he has the ability to just go into the jungle if he really wants to. The EXP, the gold, doesn't really tell the story just yet. It's the fact that Wings are about to hit a very large stride in power. And Ehome, they won't hit a similar one until much, much later in the game. So expect the next 10-15 minutes to be dictated by the Wings side. And for Ehome to be mostly reactive, usually should be getting more kills for Wings. And especially when you land a freehand arrow on Ice. They don't have that much follow-up, however. Here's the song, one hero, two heroes teleporting in. It's Old Chicken. Mirana does have a leap here. Moonlight Shadow as well. Can they kill off any of these heroes? Earthshaker is going to be left behind in the tower range, and he will fall. Song Siren to kill off Shaker is mostly just going to be valuable in that it disrupts the tempo of what Wings are trying to do right now. But Song of the Siren you can only use every so often, a very high cooldown. Plus the tower does die in the end, on the bottom lane in fact. So Wings still pretty much get what they want and pull out a pretty big cooldown in the Naga Siren, so they're able to pretty much consistently make those type of forced aggressive plays. Shadow Helm of the Dominator now up. This Huskar hasn't really done all that much, but he's on top of the net worth chart regardless of that fact. And Ice needs to very quickly get himself towards combat readiness. Storm Spirit cannot hold this back by himself. A Queen of Pain might. A Storm Spirit can't. And that's really one of the downsides of picking up a Storm. You're susceptible to being out-aggroed early on. And you are susceptible to being crushed in lane. It wasn't exactly crushed in lane, so that one didn't happen. But it seemed like the aggro is still brewing and might be ready to reach a climax here. Giant smoke up. Everyone but Shadow. Somehow Shadow not going to go invis in the shadows with the rest of his team. What a faux pas, but he's just going to push in. Got the extra armor, actually, from the Ogre Frost Mage. Not an irrelevant amount. 8 is quite a bit, and oh, who ran into it? It's Old Lanham. Poor Tonka. There is a fissure. There is an arrow that misses, but I think they get the kill anyway. Yeah, he's dead. Wow. Slideshow casting. Well, it's still tower. Is going to be pressured back down as Fenrir going to find himself an Earthshaker. He'll just get out of there immediately. You don't really want to be taking fights, Ehome, especially not with a Song of the Siren to get like an emergency disengage button. But Wings now are going to start doing whatever the hell they want. It seems like what they want is the first 2 tier 1 towers, then Roche. Ehome, they do have a Storm Spirit. He is teleporting back. And he will be able to get here in time to, in theory, do something. With no Song of the Siren, they know Wings that this is going to be as safe as it really gets. Ogre Frostmage should tank. Poor Ogre, he's done his duty though. And Aegis is going to be grabbed by Shadow. There is a Torrent in the pit. It's not going to land though. Now Shadow just going to armlet up. They take down the Faceless Void to the south. And the Huskar is going to go to town. He will lose his Aegis. The boat is going to come in and not really do all that much. So it's 2 kills for the Aegis. And Wings are still able to keep moving for more. Even though they don't end up with that double life, they do get 2 kills off of it. So that in of itself is great. Plus they get a very, very hefty increase in golden experience from that Roshan. It's all good for them. Dragonlance now up on the Huskar. Man, this guy is going to be a pretty big threat. Still, his right-click damage versus towers is not the most. It's no Clinks, it's no Terrorblade. But with the extra range, he'll be able to just chip away slowly but surely. Plus, we have Marana, who's almost at the double Starstorm from the Aghanim Scepter. Only 700 gold to that. Handful of towers being destroyed is just going to give that to the Marana. And then Ehome have 2 threats to worry about while having very few assets to handle this. And Chronosphere, Boat, these are all potentially very powerful tools, especially when combined with Supernova. But as far as consistently winning these team fights, Ehome don't really have the ability to do that. Luckily, they'll... No, Torrent over in mid lane. They're looking for a TP from the Marana in. Blink on the... Unable to... Stall them up though. Doesn't matter, got tower. Shaker is gonna grab his blink dagger pretty quickly. Not the best timing in the world, but certainly not the worst. With the Ags, Blink, and you know, Shadow's item builds coming up, then yeah, it's really just Wings with all the power in the world and Ehome with very little. Now once they're able to get their Soul Booster, their Radiance, then Ehome are going to actually be able to hit these fights at parity. But until that happens, they're at the mercy. And we can see that that's kind of happening right now. Wherever Wings go, Ehome, they immediately evacuate. They might lose the ET. Nah. You can't just die. Yeah, there's a lot of ice in this game, guys. At the bottom lane, looks like Shadow has that in his sights next. They're going to land a Fissure on the mid lane, but there's no follow-up to that. But Wings are okay with just playing it slow for the next minute or two. As long as Shaker and Marana are getting farm, and they are. As long as the Huskar is still moving and getting objectives, and he is. It's all good for Wings. Now, there is maybe a concern for Wings that they don't want to go too slowly. Again, their late game power is not quite as high as that of Ehome. So they are kind of on a timer here. Boat's going to come in. I don't think that's anywhere close to landing. Yeah, that's kind of off the mark. But they still have a lot of effective duration with their draft. So though they are on a timer, it's not really a pressing matter at this stage in the game. Blink Shaker with the Aghanim Scepter is really what they're waiting for. On Marana, that is. Aghanim Scepter on Marana with the Blink Earth Shaker. So we're just going to have a nice passive farming game. Ehome have played some more aggressive games, but in this one, up against Wings, again, probably the competition in this group stage. Or one of the big heavy hitters. There's 4 teams, I think, that were 4-1 on the start of the day. These 2 teams being 2 of them. You don't really want to take incredible risks when you can avoid them. So Ehome are just going to play the slow game, and it seems like that's decently working out for them so far. Like, this is not entirely relevant right now. What matters are the items that Wings actually do have and what they're able to do with these items. Sanj now up on the Huskar, a little bit of extra bulk there. And I want to see Wings actually group up and look to force some objectives right now. They're just farming. Like, they can farm really quickly. But you're giving a lot of time for Ehome to actually become relevant in this game. Like, Naga Siren just a minute ago was irrelevant, but now she has a Relic. Innocence up towards top lane, get hit with the Chronosphere. Old Lanham, though, walks right into it, and will get tagged with a Fissure and Arrow. So, yeah, going for that Elder Titan was probably not a great idea. Maybe with the better Chronosphere it'll work out, but yeah, not today. It's not going to work today. Faith Band's going to stick around on this bottom lane. They're looking for an action play on the bottom lane, though. Old Chicken's going to run straight into Shadow. They have the Sunrise, so they can land the killing blow, but Shadow's just going to turn around and go to town with Ice right behind him. He doesn't really have that much to fear. The Grave is going to make him invulnerable to anything Ehome have to throw at him. And he will just, yeah, turn on the Inner Vitality and just go to work on this tower. Reinforcements are not really coming in for Wings. They do have the Elder Titan here, and well, actually, no, they do have Faith Band here as well. He teleported in, I assume. So they do have enough to back up Shadow in case shit goes down, but I don't imagine that's going to be the case. Like, Ehome are just outgunned at this point. They can poke like this with Torrent. I'm not sure if they really care, Wings, especially when they do see a couple targets over in the mid lane. Arrow is going to connect onto Old Chicken, walks right into it. He saw it as well. Luckily for him, there's no follow-up, but still the tower dies over in the mid lane. And Wings now are going to get back on the warpath. Looking for the mid lane. Blink Echo Slam onto the Faceless Void. He does have a time walk, but the chain stun and the burst damage from the Dazzle is good enough. Blink Dagger now up on Mirana, living up to his name. And yes, the Naga Siren may have her Radiance, but her illusions definitely don't last long enough up against the double Starstorm to convincingly split push out and hold the lanes. So it is still going to be Ehome under the gun. Can they just have a 1 minute delay in game? Well, that's not how the infrastructure works. Again, I'm sorry for the lag, guys. There is absolutely nothing I can do about it, except for be luckier next time I load in. Two towers down off of pretty much nothing from Wings. Echo Slam being down, Moonlight Shadow being down. Yeah, you're probably going to be willing to wait a little bit of time for those cooldowns. But, you know, why wait and do nothing when you can wait at the same time, push up this top tier 2. I was going to say push and then pressure, ended up saying pusher. So Ehome, their defenses are, again, not going to be there. I don't think. I mean, they are getting to a point where maybe with the damage that they have, with their ultimates all landing, that they could be able to hold this. But it's just such a tall order. Like, if you mess that combo up, then you're just going to lose the fight immediately. And if you lose that fight, you probably lose a little bit more than just a tier 2. So there is just so much risk involved. They're going to jump in towards Shadow. They have the Torrent. They have the Sunray. They have the boat as well. Can they actually kill him off, though? Armlet is going to do some work, diving into Old Lanham, and Shadow's still very healthy. They tag the Phoenix with the arrow. Finally, Chronosphere is there with the Grave. Shadow is simply not going to die. In the meantime, Blink is driving everyone back just by himself. Huskar, back up to 700 HP, is going to survive that and then some. They caught Old 11 in the trees. Double Stars will kill off the Void. A 3 kill for Wings. Tier 2 tower up towards top lane. Vulnerable and probably will fall. And Huskar ends that fight while being the focus of the entirety of Ehome with about half HP. That is what Huskar does, man. He has so much armor in his build, so much effective survivability versus the right clicks of Ehome, and the spell damage from Ehome, pure damage wise, is not really there. Huskar has itemized in a pretty standard fashion. Wings have backed him up, and now it's going to be time for high ground. Now, this isn't going to be incredibly quickly, but with Ehome having none of their ultimates, I'm not sure if there's anything they could actually do about this except for, you know, Torrents, Fire Spirits, Ball Lightning Harassment. It's not enough to save this tier 3 tower. The rest of Wings we could see are maybe susceptible to being jumped down by a Storm Spirit, but it's going to be Shadow to get jumped on first. Echo Slam in response, though, and Old Chicken just blows up. Shadow's still very, very healthy in the meantime. Blink, he's low on mana, sure. That may prompt the retreat here for Wings, but can Ehome get anything in the chase afterwards? Level 2 X marks is decent. Shadow's still in the middle of the fight right now. Boat's not going to connect, and he's just standing his ground, right-clicking away onto Old 11. The rest of his supporting cast, very healthy in the meantime. Look at all the spells they're throwing in towards Shadow if you can through all the lag. He's just walking away from all that. Finally, Song of the Siren is there, but Shadow is getting back up a lot of health thanks to that inner vitality. And now he's actually going to turn around. My god, this man can't be stopped. He wants the Raxes, and he's going to make sure that he gets them. Ehome are going to fall victim to the classic Huskar timing. Again, in between the 15 and 30 minute marks, that is Huskar's playground. That is when he is the most dangerous hero in the game of Dota. And you can't really do anything to stop him unless you slow him down first, unless you have an incredible amount of pure damage. which Ehome simply don't have. Now Iraq's down 23 minutes in. The ultimates are going to be cooling down for this next engagement. Before this next engagement, we have 2,800 gold on the Mirana. We have 4 staff on the Dazzle, Hanamitis on the Elder Titan, plus another 3k on the Huskar. If he gets a Reaver into Satanic, then I'm not sure if Ehome can possibly kill off this hero. Also, Yule Scepter on the Earthshaker, so, you know, being able to counter the AoE ultimates just by lifting up the hero that hasn't casted his ultimate yet, that should be the pretty big play. Oh, Jesus. What? Okay, apparently she had stuff on the courier also. Shadow has bought the Hyperstone instead, looking for an AC, I would imagine, or maybe a Mjolnir. It's not the worst item, but an AC is definitely better here. So Blink has an Ethereal Blade now. I guess he had a Ghost Scepter in his inventory that I just didn't notice. But yeah, so now he can shotgun down most of Ehome. Naga Siren, I think, is just dead. Kunkka is probably just dead. Most of these heroes are just dead if they get hit with that full combo. Like, you have no idea how much damage this actually is. Mirana's Agi growth isn't really the best, so it's only like 110 times 2. You know, that's 200 damage, but then you have, you know, the freaking 600 damage nuke of Starstorm. Just with the first stars, not even with the second stars involved in there, so yeah, it's going to be close to one-hit kill territory on most of the heroes. And with the Blink Dagger, being able to get in, get out very quickly, the combo is so easy to land. They're going to smoke up and look for Roche, or at least Shadow will look for Roche. In the meantime, everyone else, Ice, is going to run into Old 11, going to run to Fenrir. This is a very vulnerable Dazzle. Now here comes the ball lightning in. Ice is in a lot of trouble, but in the meantime, they lose the Kunkka elsewhere, trading him for the Dazzle. Probably okay for Ehome, I think. God damn, lag, please. Moonlight Shadow is out, but I'm not really sure if there are any targets here. Old Chicken? Maybe double Starstorm. At the Echo Slam there, Old Chicken in a lot of trouble despite the song will still die. Oh no, Ehome wastes that ultimate and lose their Storm Spirit also. Double stars still usable, even though you may be sleeping. And they're going to go right back into the Roche pit. Old 11 still has the Chronosphere. So for Wings, they don't have any vision on the high ground. They have to be very careful about getting this stolen. The balanced Sunray going to come in. Roshan dropping low. And Shadow really looking for this. Oh, Blink, though, is going to get the Shotgun Blast on the Phoenix, kill him off. And Huskar will grab the Aegis of the Immortal. They'll take down the Faces for the perfectly timed fissure from Faith Bien. 18-5, and everything is just coming apart here for Ehome. I mean, nice Radiance, Naga Siren. Where's the rest of your build? Bloodstone and the Storm Spirit has done very little for him. And Wings are looking to end this game. And I hope the next games are going to be a little bit cleaner in the lag department. But this mid lane push, I don't think is something that Ehome can stop. They don't have the Silent Siren for another 50 seconds. They need that setup. At least they need that flexibility to disengage. I guess there's no Echo Slam on the Earthshaker, but I don't think they need it. They have an AC on the Huskar. He's incredibly big. Torrent doesn't care. Naga Siren Illusion also doesn't care, although I guess the mischance is kind of annoying. Shadow's going to jump towards Old 11. Oh my god! With a double Starstorm, that used to be a Faceless Void. No Chronosphere for this fight means that Ehome cannot win it. I don't think it's possible for them to hold this Rax. They're going to jump in, pull Shadow just to delay. Sunray, but that's not going to do anything either. Now gets hit with an arrow and a fissure. Jump in from Blink, assassinates the Phoenix for the second time in as many minutes. He'll get X marks back, but it's irrelevant. The Huskar is now in the main fight. He's just going to go to town onto Old Lanham. One frame in that fight. Thank you, Perfect World. It's still going to be GG called, as Wings barely take any damage. Blink uses all his mana, yeah. But, yeah, try to pull Naga Siren shenanigans, Ehome, against Wings. It's not going to fly, man. It's not going to fly. Wings now, I want to say, are on top of the group. Although I don't know the results of some of the other games. Ehome still looking good for a top 5 finish. But, yeah, Wings, Invictus Gaming, the other team that was 5-1. The China Qualifiers are looking like we might see Wings make a pretty decent run, guys. I mean, this is pretty much just classic Huskar. You guys know how Huskar works. You guys know how powerful Mirana is if she's able to find her targets in the middle of nowhere. You know that Wings are the real deal. Guys, this is going to be the end of the second game. CDEC versus Vici Gaming Reborn. I always want to say Vici Gaming Rejects. I don't really know why I think something is wrong with my brain, but it's VG Gaming Reborn is going to be coming up next. CDEC are playing right now, so we may have to wait for that game, but if you did enjoy the cast, be sure to stick around. Cross your fingers so that there's no lag, but we got CDEC going up against VG Gaming Reborn, then CDEC going up against CDEC Youth, so that one should be kind of interesting to say the least. A lot of pride on the line there, I'd imagine. I'm Mike Loris, and I'll see you guys in the next game.